Hello, my name is Paige Donnelly. I am the U.S. Business Development Lead for Carnomic, which is a blockchain-based social media type platform for both car manufacturers, distributors, and consumers as well. So Carnomic's overall mission is the decentralization of data in the automotive industry specifically. And we want to execute this in a way that benefits both automobile businesses and consumers. So the problem that we're looking at, we really need to look at in two different scopes: the problems faced by car manufacturers and distributors, and those faced by consumers. Worldwide data platform available, especially when you're looking at a global scale. The different registration offices for different nations and things like that makes it difficult to get the data together needed to make informed decisions. And there's also no current secure pathway for this data, which is a constant worry. Every time a company's security is breached, their market value goes down 2.1%. And for consumers, the problem they're struggling with is they're not receiving any payment for the data that they put out there. Big companies like Facebook are harvesting, massive amounts of data every year, and consumers are not being rewarded for anything that they're giving out. So the solution is going to come in the form of a blockchain-based marketing solution. For manufacturers and distributors, this is going to look like a global data platform, which is going to combine the information that car companies need for both strategy and growth. And for consumers, we're looking at a decentralized payment system, and what that's going to be is a Carnomic token. It's a cryptocurrency created by Carnomic. We've already been released on the MXC exchange, and these Carnomic tokens can be exchanged for fiat currencies, so you can trade them out for actual US dollars, and they'll fluctuate in value as Carnomic progresses forward. Why now? Blockchain is obviously a technology that's being heavily utilized in other industries to solve lots of problems and bring in profit, but it hasn't really been used to its fullest potential yet in the automotive industry. Big data, digital marketing, AI are all huge topics in automotive retail, and there's always the fear of data security. Looking at our market can be a little bit complicated just because we aim to offer advertisements to not just people in the car industry, but others like gas stations, hotels, anything really travel associated. But the car industry alone is worth 1.5 trillion worldwide. We're looking at getting car companies to allot just 1% of their marketing efforts towards the Carnomic app, and that would accumulate in about 150 US dollars that could be earned by each of the Carnomic app's users. Our team, our CEO, CFO, and CMO are all experts in the areas of finance and blockchain. We have some web developers, coders, and designers. And then we have an advisory board made up of automotive players. How the actual business model works, this should tie some things together. Advertisers will pay Carnomic to either display their inventory on our website or purchase data accumulated by Carnomic through our application. Carnomic will collect 9.9% that is brought in. 0.1% of that will go to processing fees, and the remaining 90% will be redistributed to our user base in the form of Carnomic tokens. Some obstacles that we're currently facing is collaboration at a global level. As I stated earlier, I'm the US Business Development Lead, but the company itself is actually primarily based in Germany and China. That's where our CEO is. And timeline and targeting decisions as far as who to be speaking with first, the timeline of things to do. I've already mentioned a couple partnerships and milestones, but there's a couple others worth noting, such as our partnership with IM Token, which is China's most popular Crypto wallet. We've partnered with Alliance Insurance, which is a usage-based insurance company. We are working with 8 different dealerships representing 10 different manufacturing brands, and we have a large community base. Again, a lot of this is in China and Germany right now, but we have a Telegram group with 12,000 users. They're all very active as well. We have 10,000 followers on Twitter and 3,000 likes on Facebook. To summarize, there's problems that exist with big data in the automotive industry, both for the manufacturers and distributors and for the consumers not being fairly repaid for their data in lots of different segments. So by collaborating between Carnomic, using blockchain technology, the car companies themselves, and the consumers, we can create a win-win-win situation. Thank you.
Judges, I'm Vanna White now, and you asked the question. I'll run it back over. Who'd like to go first? And don't be shy. Go ahead, Matt.
So one of the obstacles that I'd just like you to expound on a little bit is your approach to the car companies. Historically, the Big 12 have been extremely reluctant to open up any type of data source within either their vehicle data or otherwise. So what's your approach to break that down? Because clearly without the car companies, the stool kind of falls over a little bit. So can you expound on that a little bit, Paige?
So the way that we've been attempting to go about things is by promoting growth, and that starts with getting a community base and we have to have something to offer them. So we're doing lots of testing our app to earn Carnomic tokens, things like that, like getting the blockchain community involved. And in order to get some dealerships on board, we've been offering them, honestly, listing their inventory on our app completely for free. So we do realize that we're going to need to get some growth behind us and be kind of giving away some things at first in order to be able to establish ourselves as someone worth working with. Correct. What you said was
how you expound on the getting to the manufacturers, the automotive manufacturers. Who's next?
Hi, Sean Stillwell. Really good job first and foremost, and it's a really intriguing opportunity. One of the things I was thinking about when I started researching was how are you going to, you talked a little bit about the marketing efforts where you're trying to build this groundswell through giving away free opportunities, and you're saying, hey, you can launch on us for free in the first 6 months or whatever is coming up at the beginning. What else are you doing to get people involved? How are you going to market this? Because you need a lot of people to be able to make the business model work, especially with 90% of the revenue going back to the consumer, right, to the users.
So having a large consumer base is obviously extremely important to the success of Carnomic. We are located globally, so we have team members. I'm the first team member here in the US, but we're located in China and Germany as well. And the community that we've really seemed to fit in with and are doing well with is the blockchain and cryptocurrency community, which again seems to be a little bit larger and more prevalent in China specifically. It's a huge topic there, so there hasn't been that much of a struggle gaining an initial user base.
Great job, Paige, by the way. Is there a specific ask here, and can you elaborate on the use of funds of that ask?
Our attorney said they're not allowed to make a public ask to avoid public solicitation and violate securities rules. Sorry. I mean, you can give a general, if you were to hypothetically get funds, how would you use them?
I suppose I just don't feel equipped to answer that. My main point of being here, honestly, is to spread awareness about the Carnomic platform and that we're looking at bringing it to America, although we are having some success in other countries, and provide you with contact information if you'd like to get involved with some of our higher ups.
One more question? Okay. Oh, thank you. Well, first of all, yeah, good job, and you're certainly addressing a key issue out there. Question about your work with Alliance. I notice you have an insurance angle on this as well. And I agree the car makers are going to be a big piece of this. I've done a lot of work with them and kind of know where they stand. But there are a number of players out there working with insurance partners, user-based, and doing something kind of similar. So I'm just curious if you could just talk a little bit about, you know, what the angle is with insurance and what you're doing today and what you think you'd like to develop there.
So something I don't think I touched on quite well enough is the way that our users are going to earn their Carnomic tokens, which is by participating in our application. But that participation is a lot of times in the forms of surveys or questionnaires or inputting your personal data. So this is something that specifically a usage-based insurance company that wants to know your driving habits and things like that are going to be intrigued by.
Thanks. That was real great. I have last question sort of related to Bob's. Can you give a specific example of the kind of user data that OEMs, for instance, might not be getting elsewhere that you hope to provide to them?
So there's a lot of different uses for this data, but when we're looking at OEMs specifically, one of the key problems that we really think we can help solve for them is synchronizing data at a global level, because they do have their own access to data, but a lot of that is at a national level and not in any way collaborated. Thank you.